All right, welcome everyone to the 2020 ASA Classic here in Foley, Alabama. What a weekend we have had. We are here at the Pro Pressure Point Shootdowns here. Competition Archery Media bringing you the broadcast. I am PJ Riley. Sitting alongside me is Darren Christenbury. Darren, we had a wild weekend.
It's been crazy. It's been super hot and very humid. And we had rainstorms today. I've been wet since I got out of the car Wednesday. So if it wasn't sweat, it was rain. It's been a really interesting weekend so far.
Yeah, and so we were expecting this hurricane that never actually hit us head on, but we got lots of pieces of it.
Yeah, we did. And I think we probably lost some shooters this weekend because of the weather forecast. But it's not been horrible, other than just a few moments in time this weekend. So it's been far from perfect, but it's been tolerable.
That's incredible. So what's happening now out on the shooting floor is we have the German Precision Optics, GPO. So they've had a competition all this year at every one of the ASAs. It's kind of like a side competition. You go in it, and the archers compete for money, and there are two classes. There's a known 50 class and a known 40 class. And what we're looking at here now is the shoot-off. This is the finals. We're going to have each of these archers shoot, I think it's a 5-round target, 5 or 6 targets. And then the winner, I mean, they're giving away $5,000 in prizes. There's like range-finding binoculars. They've got all kinds of things out there. So we're looking at, it's a mixture of amateurs and pros out there.
Right, right.
And they're shooting these targets, you know, very similar to what the pros are going to do. However, we do have different shooting positions. Targets are different positions so that no one is getting any kind of advantage from the pros' perspective. All right, we're going to hear now from Mike Tyrell, and he's going to tell us what's happening.
This is the ASA Classic. This is our final event of the year, and we took a long time to get here. This was supposed to happen last month in Coleman. That was supposed to be our classic. As everybody knows, up to this point in time, we've had to cancel events and move events and change events, and it's really more of the signature event of the year.
Shoot 'em up!
I mean, it's like winning a major versus winning a tournament in golf vernacular. And there's certain tournaments that during the year that everybody likes to participate in, but you know, the classic champion has a much better ring than you won Texas. And so as this thing is kind of unfolded, again, you're dealing with communities who are very, very supportive. They're very helpful. They've done everything they can to get us ready for this thing. We do have to continue to make the concessions for social distancing and the mask wearing inside the buildings. So there are some changes we'll be making here away from what we normally would do at our event here in February. But by and large, I think we've got it. We're going to get it done. Again, we had an abbreviated season, so what we did is we took all the classes and said, look, instead of having first, second, and third for shoot of the year, it'll all go to the first place guy. So all the shoot of the year money that's been accrued, which is 10% of all the entry fees for the season, will only get paid out to the first place person. So we've kind of closed the window a little bit on the number of people getting involved with shoot of the year, but in most cases, particularly in the pro classes, contingency money only goes to the first place guy anyway. So the second and third places are something that we were doing to help spread the money around, but as far as manufacturers and contingency programs, didn't really make a difference. So that was an easy fix, and so we're going to do it based on 3 events plus the classic. If you're in, we'll drop 1 score, so it's going to be 2 out of 3 plus the classic score. And right now you've probably I got some classes where you got 8 people within 10 points of each other. So we'll be doing some peer grouping with those guys and letting them shoot. And same with the pros, we'll peer group them and just see how the cards fall. At the Classic, we have the Pro Pressure Point Shootdown, final shootdown of the year. Fortunately, because we're in Foley, we have the event center, which means we can do it indoors, don't have to worry about the weather affecting it. We are to make some concessions to the COVID situation by having some distancing and spacing inside. People can't stand up, they can't cheer. They can politely applaud nice shots. Either pros start shooting at 5, and then by 7 o'clock, we'll kiss all the pros goodbye. this whole thing is broken in our favor. The weather's breaking in our favor this weekend. The ability to even be here broke in our favor. So this has been a very, very lucky situation for us to be able to be here and have an event that we think is going to have a good way to end the year and end this year and wash our hands of it and look forward to 2021.
All right, Darren, so as Mike mentioned on there, one of the big things for the Classic year is we figured out Shooter of the Year in each of the 4 pro classes, and actually in at least 3 of them, it came down to today.
Yeah.
There were tight races in all those.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon, but it's good to see that tight race out there. And then Mike said there in the video, which I didn't know, normally they'll pay the podium for Shooter of the Year, first, second, third, but with all the challenges and the abbreviated season, first place or the Shooter of the Year is going to get all the Shooter of the Year money this year.
So for those of folks out there who may not be familiar, tell us what Shooter of the Year is, how it works, and why it's prestigious.
Shooter of the Year is a cumulative score for the entire year, and you only get 1 drop. So we used to shoot 7 tournaments a year. Now there's only 6. So there'll be 5 regular ASAs plus the Classic. Through those first 5 regular ASAs, you would get to drop your worst score. So like everybody, if you have a bad weekend, you get to throw that one out. But the Classic score, today's round, the last 2 days, it must count. So this year with, 3-4 tournaments, we dropped 1, kept 2, the Classic counts. So we have 3 cumulative tournaments to give them a Shooter of the Year total. Whoever shoots the most points wins.
And in the women's pro class, so Kaylee Johnston led through the whole season up to this weekend. Sharon Wallace ended up taking the title. We got to talk to her earlier today. Let's hear from Sharon.
Okay, Sharon Wallace is our Women's Pro Shooter of the Year. And Sharon, Kaylee Johnston was leading all the way up to this weekend, and then you caught fire.
I had no idea. Jack asked me if I wanted to know what the scores were, and I said no, I just want to focus on the Classic and just shoot, and everything will just, I honestly didn't even know I had a chance. I really didn't. And I just shot incredible this weekend. We finished, and Kaylee and Emily said, "You just won Shooter of the Year," and I said, "No, I didn't." And I did, and I lost it because I really did not know that I'd won. So it was a good surprise.
So this is your third Shooter of the Year. You said the last one you won was 2017. Tell us what that means to you in your resume of all your titles.
Everyone wants to win Shooter of the Year because you work so hard all year. And if you keep working hard and keep putting up good scores, you know that you're going to win Shooter of the Year. It shows what you've done for that year. And everybody wants that title. So it's good to win it again, and not even knew that I had a chance like that. So.
First year with PSE too. Does it feel good to come out strong for a new bow company?
Absolutely. I always, when you go to a new company, you want to perform well. You want them to know that you made the right decision hiring you. So National Triple Crown this year, and won a few, and now Shooter of the Year, and I'm leading for the Classic. So I think it's a great year this year.
All right, Sharon, congratulations. 2020 ASA Women's Pro Shooter of the Year.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, she mentioned she just had an incredible weekend there because it didn't look like she had a chance coming into this weekend. Kaylee Johnston had such a big lead. She managed to turn it around.
And to be honest, it probably was a good thing she didn't know, So she just mashed the gas and did her thing, and it paid off.
All right, so next up we've got Senior Pro, and here is Michael Braden from Keller, Texas. This is his second Shooter of the Year title. He had an incredible weekend there. He was one who kind of led the whole way. So we got to talk to Michael earlier today, and let's hear what he had to say.
All right, so we are here with a soggy Michael Braden after the rain pour here. But Michael, you are the Senior Pro 2020 Shooter of the Year. Tell us how that feels.
It feels great. Obviously, for everybody, this has been a crazy year. We talk about the 2020 bingo card. What else can we put on this bingo card? 2 hurricanes, COVID, everything else. So, fortunate for me, Foley. We came back to Foley again. Foley's been good to me pretty well. So I shot really good in Foley. Didn't really have the other 2 shoots weren't stellar, but Foley carried me pretty well. Came into this weekend with a 9-point lead, and then it was really tight after that. And again, but came into this tournament with just zero confidence. My yardage has been weak and stuff, so I give it to the big man upstairs to get me through this one.
So this is your second shooter of the year in the senior division. Tell us what that means, shooter of the year, in your resume of titles.
It means a lot. Anytime shooter of the year, and I mean, you know, you got to take your hat off to like a Levi, and then Jeff before that. To have that many shooter of the year titles is huge. So, you know, when you look at shooter of the year, in any of my shooter of the year titles have always meant a lot to me, because it's you know, a culmination of the whole year and just battling it out all year. So they mean a lot to me.
All right, Michael, well, congratulations. Great round today, and congratulations, 2020 Senior Pro ASA Shooter of the Year.
Thanks, guys.
Darren, there he is, 13-time ASA Shooter of the Year, 12 in a row. He missed last year. He came back and won it this year. I mean, I've heard people say he's the Tom Brady of archery.
He's the Tiger Woods, the Tom Brady, you name it. This guy, best I've ever seen at unknown distance. I mean, McCarthy's always right there, don't get me wrong. No disrespect to anybody, but Levi, when he says it's time to go, he's the best I've ever seen.
So we got to talk to him because today his round came down to the last 2 targets for Shooter of the Year, and he said he was shaking like he's never shaken before. Let's hear from Levi.
All right, Levi Morgan is our 2020 ASA Open Pro Shooter of the Year. Levi, how does that feel, especially after last year was a 1-year break?
It was unbelievable. It felt better than winning any tournament. This is always the thing I want the most, Shooter of the Year. I feel like it rewards the most consistent shooter. And so, yeah, I mean, anytime you lose something that you've won so many times in a row, it can be a mind game a little bit, you know, can I get it back? And Danny's just so unbelievable, and especially in those situations where he's got to come back. And I knew that was the case. We've done that before. We've been down to 1 point before, and so when it come down, it was, I think, a 2-point difference at one point today, and he was just on, you know, and I wasn't. And it was just decisions and really not letting myself get too aggressive. I wasn't shooting well enough, or I wasn't judging well enough to be as aggressive as I wanted to be. So I really reeled that in and just stayed in it and hit a few 12s, and then he kind of just missed a couple there at the end and allowed me to hold on to it. And it was a battle. I mean, I was shaking more on that final arrow than I think I ever have. So.
Yeah, I was wondering how you managed to keep it together, because you want to be in the shoot down for the finals, but you want Shooter of the Year. You see Dan's hot. I mean, you got to manage all that in your head.
Yeah, it's terrible. I hate the fact that we count the Classic as for Shooter of the Year for that exact reason, because every year I feel like the guys that are battling for Shooter of the Year, I'm always so worried about that, not losing points, that I can't focus on trying to win the tournament, you know. And it's kind of like you got to pick which one you want to go after, you know, especially when you have a lead, because you don't want to be stupid and just bleed points away. And yeah, so, and today was just really, at one point I was like, I never even thought about the tournament. All I was watching was, I was trying to keep a cushion, and he kept eating away at it. But on that last arrow, I was nervous, and I just said a little prayer and tried to execute, and it hit right behind the pin. So it was a good feeling.
All right, Levi, so we should mention this is your 13th Open Pro ASA Shooter of the Year. Congratulations on winning it again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Freaking McCarthy.
All right, now, known Pro Shooter of the Year, Robert Householder. This is his second back-to-back. He won it last year. And Darren, that is an accomplishment, because that class is crazy.
It is, and we're starting to see the name Householder more and more and more and more, not just in the ASA, just in archery in general. So Robert's found his rhythm. He's found that confidence. He's a great shot. He's 2-time back-to-back Shooter of the Year. He's consistent. He's confident. That's a recipe for success right there.
So I actually shot this next video. I caught up with him right after his last arrow, because that's what won it for him. Let's take a look.
So Robert Householder, known pro shooter of the year, came down to the last target.
The
Tell
last
us about
arrow.
that.
The last arrow, I put like 4 extra clicks on it and still almost missed low. So I don't know. I'm just grateful that one got close and found it.
How you feeling? So you were down by 2. You were leading by 2 coming into the weekend.
I was leading by 2.
Down by 2
Yep.
yesterday.
Down by 2 yesterday, yep. So I know it was shot for shot with Brady, man. Brady shot good all year. This whole group we shot with today and this weekend shot great. And it was just, I knew, man, you have to hit them. You know, you try to take it one shot at a time, but you know you have to try to hit every shot you can take. Like, it's crazy in this class.
How'd that last shot feel for you? You said you added 4 clicks.
I added 4 clicks and it still was low, so man, my heart was bouncing real quick.
All right, congratulations, Robert, 2-time known pro shooter of the year. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Lots of great champions there, Darren, and it was great to see it all. It was exciting to see it all come together this weekend. You know, if they all come in with a big, huge lead, you know, it's great to see. But you like to see that excitement.
You do, and it's great to see the guys win, the ladies win, see the smile on their faces, and you have to feel bad. You know, McCarthy and Levi's battles have been epic, and to get that close, and I think you heard Levi, if you're listening close, he leans over and he's like, freaking McCarthy, you know. So it's really good to see that, and you feel bad for the people that fall just short, you know.
Sure.
It comes down to the last arrow. It's great for the people that win. Breaks your heart for the people that come in second because, again, it's usually a full year of competition to get to that point. So to lose it on the last arrow, that's tough.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to get things rolling for the Pro Pressure Point shoot downs here in Foley, Alabama at the ASA Classic.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches and you can just stand there on the line. Don't have to run in and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Announcing the new patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. True-Ball Excel. We make archery better.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the 2020 ASA Classic here in Foley, Alabama. Competition Archery Media bringing you all the action. PJ Riley, I'm sitting here alongside Darren Christenbury. And Darren, this is going to be an incredible shoot down we've got here tonight. Let's give the folks at home a rundown of what happens.
What they're going to do is they're going to line the shooters up in order of how they qualified, 1 through 5. They're all going to shoot one arrow at each target. They'll run down and score them, or they'll have scores there. They'll rotate through. They'll all shoot 5 targets. If there's a bigger than 10-point separation from the leader, the tournament will be over, but anybody within 10 points of the leader after 5 will shoot a 6th and potentially final arrow to decide the winner of the Classic.
Gotcha, and we should point out here that our first 3 divisions, Women's Pro, Senior Pro, Open Pro, they're all shooting unknown distance.
Yes.
So tell us about that skill.
That's a learned skill that is a make or break skill, because if you don't guess how far away these targets are correctly and set your sight correctly, it can be a train wreck very quickly. You know, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. There's actually a few new faces in the known pro division out there, but the unknown guys and gals have mastered it, and you'll see them shoot a lot of bonus rings, and in some cases maybe more bonus rings at times than the known guys do. So it's a very important skill that's acquired over a lot of time and a lot of experience, and you're going to see some of the best in the world at it.
And so folks always ask what's the distance they're shooting. We don't know the distances, but we know that the maximum is 50 yards, give or take a little wiggle room there.
Yep.
You might get out to 51. And so the scoring rings, they blend into the target, so they don't really have a clear defining spot to aim at. They just got to know from experience where those bonus rings are.
And the lighting's so different. You know, we've shot outside in the rain, in a canopy, the undergrowth, whatever you want to call it, and then coming inside to a black floor with fluorescent lighting. These targets look different in here than they do outside. So they'll make adjustments. They'll shoot their first target to see kind of, you know, did I get it right or am I wrong? They'll make an adjustment on the fly. Again, you know, not knowing the distance, you got to be confident, and you're going to see some really great shooters doing this here shortly.
Our last division, of course, is going to be known pro, and those guys all use rangefinders. So they get to come up, range it, set their sights, and then they know exactly where they're shooting.
Yeah, and when we get there, I think you'll see a little different format. They'll have these guys shoot one arrow. They'll have 40 seconds, then the next guy shoots, and we do that because they know how far they are. The 14 ring is going to be in play, and they need to know what to do. You know, they don't want to make a mistake and be too aggressive at the wrong time. So since they know the distance, they're going to let the leader shoot, the next guy will shoot, the next guy will shoot, so they can make an adjustment per arrow instead of like, oh, I should have or I shouldn't have. So it's a little bit different, very similar, but the known pro guys will do it a little bit differently.
And Darren, you've been doing this for a long time. Tell us about the nerves that these archers are going to feel up there, even experienced archers like the Levi Morgans, Dan McCarthy, Sharon Wallace.
They feel it a little bit, but I think the nerves come with getting in the top 5. Let's make the show, and then once you get into the show, it's really not that bad. You know, so as many times as the Levis, the Dans, the Sharons have been out there, they're very comfortable. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be jacked up a little bit, but they know how to handle it, and that's the difference.
That would be the difference, handling it.
Yep.
To me, I just can't even fathom it.
Just
I think
dealing
I
with
would
the
just
pressure.
fall apart out there. All right. Okay, so we're going to get the action started. They're going to come back, and we're going to have the pros out here to judge these targets as soon as we come back. Stay tuned here. We'll bring you all the action from Foley, Alabama at the 2020 ASA Classic.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Announcing the new patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. True Ball Excel. We make archery better.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable, and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches, and you can just stand there on the line. You don't have to run and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.
All right, we are back here at the Foley Event Center, Foley, Alabama, 2020 ASA Classic, culminating event of the Archery Shooters Association season. What we're looking at now are the women's pro standing. Sharon Wallace with that lead at 408, Emily McCarthy 392, Lara Chanal 382, Christine Harrelson 381, and Renee Hornbuckle at 380. Darren, that lead Sharon Wallace has looks pretty formidable.
16 points with 5 targets to go is, with Sharon Wallace, should be pretty safe. Now, granted, we shoot them because we don't know what's going to happen, right. But and anything can happen. But if I was Sharon, I'd be feeling really comfortable right now with a 16-point lead.
Now, we should notice here that Emily McCarthy's in second at 392. She missed a target yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she had an incredible comeback. Her 392 is with 13 bonus rings. She's actually the leader in bonus rings. So that could come into play because bonus rings separate ties except for the winners.
They do, and I like doing the math on that too. I looked at Sharon's score there. She shot a 408 with 8 bonus rings. So the 8 bonus rings means she had 812. So that was a potential of 16 up. She finished at 408. So she only shot 4 8s the whole weekend. That's an average of 2 per day. And if you can get through those ranges with that lighting, these weather conditions, the sweat, the heat, that's awesome. I mean, and when we get to McCarthy's score and Levi's score, it's even better than that. But for anybody to get through those with 2 8s per day is fantastic shooting.
So let's talk about, we're looking at Sharon Wallace there, and the unknown pros are now judging their targets. This is entirely different. They were out in the woods earlier today. They had trees, foliage, things to use to help you judge distance. This is just a flat black surface. Are they actually looking at the ground? I'll ask you, how are they judging?
If the most consistent judgers that I've talked to or I've seen over time have judged the targets by the body size. That's the only consistent thing from Texas to Florida to Georgia to wherever we go. The terrain changes, the lighting changes, the canopy changes. The only thing that stays consistent are the targets. A lot of these archers own these targets. They have them at home, so they look at them daily. They know where to aim. They know the detail. They know what the detail looks like at certain distances, and when it gets past a certain distance, if they can't make out a detail, they know, hey, it's over 42 yards or it's over 45 yards. So I think they're looking at body size and they're looking at how much detail they can pull out of these targets in here because there's nothing else to go off of. And I think that's why they'll make good notes as they go, and when they shoot their first arrow, they may play a little more conservative right out of the gate to make sure they've guessed it right. So, because that's key. You gotta get it right, and if you don't, you have to make an adjustment because that goes really fast out there.
Right, and so we see lots of different things. We see Tim Gillingham now. He's like ranging back side to side, side to side. What's he trying to see
It's a pivot point, I think. You know, when something's close and you move side to side, it doesn't move as far. The farther away it gets, it doesn't move as far. So he's trying to gauge, okay, how far is this? I'm looking this side, Is it moving that much, So he's trying to get, it's just another way. It's another check. He's checking all his boxes. It looks this far. I look at the feet. I'm looking at the ground. I may judge halfway and flip it. And then if I go side to side, how much is it moving? He's just checking all the boxes, say, okay, I think it's 44 yards, and then he'll come to an ultimate decision of that's what I'm going to shoot it for.
So these bonus rings that they're aiming for, worth 12 points, are about the size of a 50-cent piece, maybe a little bit smaller. How off can they be and still catch that, especially if we're talking like it's something 46, 47 yards?
Yeah. Once you get to 40 yards, I truly believe it's 1 inch per yard. So if you shoot a target at 41 yards and it's actually 42, you might clip the bottom of it. So you've got a 1 yard variance out to about 40, or I'm sorry, 1 yard variance past 40. For every yard you're off, you're going to drop an inch. Inside of that, if you get a 26 yard target and you shoot it for 27 and a half, you can probably still clip the 12 pretty good. But if you get out to 50 and you shoot it for 48, you're going to shoot an 8 or a 5. It's going to happen.
That's the part that's incredible to me, to think, okay, 50 yards, that's half a football field. And these folks, these ladies and men, that they can tell the difference between 47 and 50. That's just incredible.
Even closer than that sometimes. I know there's times, and not that I do it as consistently as some of these people, but I look at a target, I'm like, it could be 48, it could be 47. I'll shoot at 47 and a half, thinking I'm that good at times, which I'm not. But once in a while you get it right, So, hey, I got it to the half yard. It doesn't always happen like that, but when you get to that distance, that half yard could mean a lot, It could be the difference between an 8 and a 5. Those 2 or 3, like Robert said, I gave it 4 extra clicks, still almost missed it low, and that half yard could mean a lot.
That's incredible. Well, the pros out here, they're going to wrap up their judging here, and then when we come back, we're going to get right into the action with the women's pro division, so be sure and stay tuned here. 2020 ASA Classic here in Foley, Alabama.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable, and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches, and you can just stand there on the line. You don't have to run in and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Announcing the new patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. TrueBall Excel. We make archery better.
The ASA Classic coverage is brought to you by Matthews. All right, Darren, so they're finishing up their judging here, and so I was just checking out the targets. It looks like we're going to shoot the Bobcat on number 1, the Aoudad on number 2, Javelina at number 3. The Wolverine is the bomb. They put that one out the farthest. That's got to be pushing close to 50 yards or something. It's way out there. And then the large deer is target number 5.
Yeah, they I say it all the time, and I know that's why they do it. They set those little targets the farthest because they're easiest to carry that far. So that that little Wolverine, almost every tournament this year, I think when we shot here in Foley, we were at mid-40s, but it's been at 50 every tournament since.
That is incredible. Darren, all right, so now I believe we're going to have our shooter introductions.
Welcome to the 2020 ASA Classic. Starting out with the Women's Pro. In 5th place, we have Renee Hornbuckle from Alabama. She shoots Matthews. 380 with 6 bonus rings. 4th place, we have shooting for PSE, Christine Harrelson from North Carolina. She shot a 381 with 6 bonus rings. Coming in at 3rd, shooting for Matthews, Lara Chanal. She's from Ohio with a 382 with 8 bonus rings. And coming in 2nd, shooting for Matthews, Emily McCarthy from Wisconsin, 392 with 13 bonus rings. And coming in 1st, shooter of the year, Sharon Wallace, shooting a PSE from Townville, South Carolina, 408 with 8 bonus rings.
All right, Darren, there's a good look at Sharon Wallace. She is on the number 1 target, which is the Bobcat or Lynx. I guess it's more a Lynx than a Bobcat. And this shooting style is a little bit different. They each get, there's a 1-minute clock,
yes,
and they all shoot whenever they're ready.
Yes. Yeah, they've got to get the arrow going within that 1-minute window, which is plenty of time. I think the lighting's really good in here. There's no wind, so, you know, there is plenty of time to let down if they need to reset. A lot of them probably won't utilize that, but if they get long in a shot and feel like they need to let down, there is enough time to reset and start over. So looking at the scores here, 3rd place is going to be a race. You know, 382, 381, 380 is 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now. Emily's, as we talk, 16 points behind Sharon. So as long as Sharon keeps it in the 10 ring, these girls are going to have to get really aggressive to catch her.
Sharon Wallace on the draw. You can see her she's using a thumb button release. Where her thumb is, that's a trigger.
I think she'll shoot. I was going to say, I think she'll shoot some rings, and there you go, right off the bat.
That is Sharon Wallace there on the Lynx, so she's got a 12 for sure.
She's obviously confident, comfortable. She's got a big lead. I think she'll shoot more than 112 out there.
Here's our Don Bailey to give us the scores. Bailey calls. That's a replay or a look at, I believe, Lara Chanal's arrow on the Javelina, target number 3, but we're going to go down to the Aoudad center there. That's going to score a 10. We should say that center ring doesn't score as a bonus ring.
No.
So that's a 10. And that was Emily McCarthy. Now we're coming to number 3 was Lara Chanal, has a 10 on the Javelina.
The pivotal target here is going to be this Wolverine, I believe. That's going to make or break some shooters.
That's the long one.
10 is good
10
there.
For, that was Christine Harrelson. Now we're coming to Renee Hornbuckle on the large deer. She's got a 10 as well.
Nobody went backwards there. That's always a good thing. 10 is a great score. Bonus rings are there for a reason, but if you can not give anything up, that's key.
Sharon Wallace added her lead with a 12.
Yeah.
Short one, she's going to go for that bonus ring, even though she, doesn't need to pad her lead.
I think well, obviously her guesses are correct, so she's judged her targets. If you're hitting that bonus ring, she's within a yard or two like we talked, so now she's feeling pretty comfortable with the numbers she's wrote down. Again, I'll say it again, I anticipate her hitting more 12s out there.
So our archers have all rotated to the right. Renee Hornbuckle, who was on number 5, she now went around to number 1. Here's Emily McCarthy. You see Emily, she's shooting what's called a hinge or back tension release. Good shot on her, the javelina there. There's Christine Harrelson. We've got it full draw.
Good look at Christine. Christine makes a lot of shoot downs.
She does. That is... Christine is a 10 on that deer. Here's Sharon Wallace. Got to look at her shot.
Shoots a good, strong shot. Just left of that 12 there.
All right, a 10 for Renee Hornbuckle on the links. Moves her to 400.
You can see Sharon's arrow's perfect height just left of that 12, so you know she judged it perfectly as well.
Yep. Moving over to target 3. This is going to be Emily McCarthy on the javelina, another 10 as well. Now we've got Lara Chanal, and she took on the long Wolverine with an 8.
She either shot straight below the 14 or straight right of the 12. I don't know what her game or her plan of attack was there, but she got an 8. That's still not bad on that target. That's such a tough little target.
Tiny. This is Christine Harrelson's target here. She's going to have a 10.
Good 10 there.
All right, shuffling of the deck there. We still haven't really changed position too much. Sharon Wallace leading at 430, 412 for Emily. Christine Harrelson 401, so she did jump up a little bit into 3rd. And then we've got a tied for 4th between Lara Chanal and Renee Hornbuckle.
3rd place is up for grabs. 1st and 2nd, I don't see that changing a whole lot there.
Knowing it.
Emily's got to get through this Wolverine here, and then she should cruise to a 2nd place finish. I shouldn't say that way ahead of time. I don't want to jinx anybody, but this is the pivotal target right here, and that's a great look at that close-up window there.
Yep.
12 this thing, Em.
Let's see where she gets this.
Little bit of movement in her bow.
No, just
it's going to be an 8, just low left. Still not bad on that target. Not what she wants, but that's a tough little target.
That is a tough little target. And with the lighting there, it looks like it's all one color. That's actually not. It's a dark brown and then a darker brown. So a 10
for Christine.
On the links for Christine Harrelson. Moves her to 411. Coming over to Renee Hornbuckle.
She was in the top bonus ring, but she didn't call it. That's the upper 12. You have to call that if you want to shoot at it. So she just got a 10. There's a good 12.
Not surprising
Sharon
for
Wallace.
Sharon Wallace.
She's so tough.
She wants to just slam the door on this.
Yeah, she's
Now we're back over here to Emily at the Wolverine. Got an 8, moves her to 420.
We would typically shoot a 6th and final arrow if anyone can get within 10 points of the leader, but I don't anticipate that happening.
No. Lara Chanal with a 10.
Well, Emily got through that with minimal damage, just shot an 8, so she only backed up 2 points, which that'll move Sharon's lead to 22 points now.
Yeah.
Because she shot a 12, so she gained another 2 with the 12 on the javelina, and Emily backed up 2, so that was a 4-point swing. Now her lead is 22 points.
Now we get a look at what our leader, Sharon Wallace, can do on that Wolverine.
My guess is she'll try to shoot center 10 on this thing, and if she makes any error, it may fall just a little bit, but I'd say she'll aim a little safer don't want to make any kind of devastating mistake here. Center 10 would be fantastic. Good look at Emily again there.
She's on the deer, large deer. Oh, just to the right. Christine Harrelson comes to full draw, shooting a thumb button trigger as well.
It's got a pretty color bow there too.
Yeah, that's
I like
nice.
that orange, nice and shiny, anodized.
Okay, so she just let down there, Darren. That's okay.
Yep. Something wasn't right. She wasn't aiming good. Things didn't feel right. She's going to let down, take a deep breath, start over. She should still have probably 30 seconds. I can't see the clock from here, but she's got plenty of time. Good strong shot there.
Oh, just high
tall
on that all dead. Here's a look at Sharon Wallace. She's got that blocker. What's that blocker on the side of her sight?
That's to keep her from losing from her left eye from taking over aiming for it. Blocks out the vision of her left eye at full draw.
All right, first up, Lara Chanal on the links. They're taking a look at this one. Don Bailey's going to get out his glasses to look here.
That is a close one there.
Got the flashlight.
All it has to do is touch.
Let's see what Don Bailey's going to call here.
An 8.
An 8.
Did not grab that
so
line.
That one was out. Moves Lara to 418. Coming over to Christine. Tall 8 there for her as well. Christine Harrelson. Moves her to 419.
Third place is still up for grabs and interesting here. They've got one more target to decide it, though.
There's the Javelina. This is Renee Hornbuckle. And that's a solid 10. All right, this is the one I want to see. Sharon Wallace on the long Wolverine.
I think she's a solid 10.
She got a 10. I'll take that on the Wolverine any day.
Every day. Every day.
That last one we saw was actually Emily's arrow here on the large deer. We had a close up, and that was a 10 as well. All right, so you're Sharon Wallace. You're looking at a 22-point lead. This is your 5th arrow. What are you thinking? Are you nervous, or are you like,
not
I got
at all?
this?
She doesn't even have to shoot. She could shoot for the 14 if she wants. She can miss it if she wants to, and we're not even going to shoot a 6th and final arrow. So if she shoots a 0 here, which I don't think she will, she still has a 12-point lead, so game over. So that's a great feeling for her right now. I'm sure she's ecstatic. She'll be emotional. She should be. She just won Shooter of the Year. She's going to win the Classic. What a big weekend for her in PSE.
I'd like to see her go for the 14 myself.
I would too.
Just saying.
I would too, but I think she'll probably 12 it. I think.
The crowd will go nuts if she, there, letdowns.
Checking her sight, make sure. I don't know if she's done the math yet, but she can shoot it in the concrete if she wants to and still win this thing. So
that was Emily McCarthy on the links there. That's going to be a 10 for her.
I've never had that luxury before. Be able to shoot one in the concrete and still win. Good look at Sharon right there. Holding good and steady.
Holding. She just went for center 10. Good for her.
Just over that 12, and that's going to do it.
Christine Harrelson there. Good look at her from behind at the Javelina. Center 10 for her on that target.
Good camera work there, boys.
Yeah, I like that shot. All right, we're coming out to Emily McCarthy on the links. She takes a 10. Moves her to 440 for the weekend. Now this is the Audad. This is Lara Chanal.
I'm not sure what Laura had going on there. That's a unfortunate where the place to put that arrow. I don't know. Maybe she had a misfire, got away from her. I wasn't looking, but that'll take her out of contention for the podium.
Coming to Christine Harrelson on the Javelina, takes a 10.
And Renee on that. Oh, that's a good
Renee
shot there.
Hornbuckle, man, that's
just
right
off
in
that
there.
12. Good 10 should be.
He didn't look too long yet.
So that might put Renee on the podium.
I believe it did. Yes, by 1 point over Christine Harrelson. And then Sharon Wallace
for the 10.
Got her husband, Jack Wallace, men's open pro. He'll be shooting in a little bit. Comes over to give her the congratulations. Good end for Sharon Wallace. She's going to come over here and talk to us for a second. But what a great win for her, Darren, just to close it out in style.
Yeah, like she said earlier, she made a switch. You know, she's shooting a different brand bow this year, and that's got to be, and it is a nerve-wracking experience, you know, to come out and pick up where you left off, and I think she's made a very good business decision. She's shooting that bow well, and the equipment agrees with her.
That's great. All right, she's coming over here. As soon as she gets hooked up there. Sharon, can you hear us?
Sharon Wallace, you just won Shooter of the Year. You just won the Classic. You're shooting a brand new bow. I've never been in a situation where I could miss the last target and still win. Did you do the math? Did you know where you were at? How'd that go out there?
Yeah, I was watching the scoreboard. I knew where I was, and then I actually, on the last target, I thought, did I misset my sights when I let down? Made sure I had the right number, but I've never done the Classic and the Shoot of the Year, so I'm pretty overwhelmed right now.
Yeah, it's good to double dip on contingency checks in a weekend. So, no, fantastic shooting. Congrats. Good business decision with you shooting that PSE. Fantastic year. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to say one thing because I think I know my brother is watching this time and my niece. So this one's for you guys. I love you. Thank you.
All right, Sharon Wallace, great win there. Folks, we are going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we are going to have our Senior Pro Finals here at the ASA Classic in Foley, Alabama.
If you're punching the clock between punching tags, chances are you know a thing or two about hard work. Because when you put in the time, you better get your money's worth. Boom! A new Hoyt Nitrix. This thing is tough as nails, and at 4.1 pounds, it's lighter than most Chihuahuas. And oh yeah, it also slings in air at 333 feet per second. It never gives an inch. It'll go against anything, Cape buffalo, white-tailed deer, elk, or snapping turtle, it don't matter. You want a bow you can drag through the mud and trust in your tree stand come bow season? This is your freezer filling, tag punching, season saving, all around go-to bow. And only your Hoyt dealers got it. This is the Hoyt Nitrix.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches and you can just stand there on the line. You don't have to run in and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.
Classic coverage is brought to you by PSE Archery. All right, Darren, we are looking here at our senior pro standings. We got Michael Braden in the lead with a 421, Lauren Lohr 419, Kevin Cook 418, Tony Tazza 414, and Tim Gillingham the Hammer at 411.
This one is a little bit different than the last one. They were racing to see who we're going to finish third. Now we're racing to see who's going to win. This is a really tight scoreboard, and it should be very interesting, especially with Gillingham there in fifth. He can be crazy aggressive, a little bit borderline reckless, not afraid to shoot at 14s. Mike's only 10 points ahead of him with that 14 ring of play. Anything can happen.
All right, Michael Braden, as we mentioned earlier, he won Shooter of the Year, so only a 2-point lead. I mean, anything can happen out there, as you said. Obviously, he has the Shooter of the Year title no matter what, but I'm sure he wants to add the Classic win as well.
Oh, yeah, that double dipping weekend like Sharon just did, that's an amazing feeling to get that, and it doesn't happen a lot, and that opportunity doesn't happen as many times as you would like in your career. So Mike wants to capitalize on it, but those guys behind him, you know, Kevin Cook, he could win back-to-back here, so anything can happen. Yeah. We'll see.
Good point. All right, well, let's go out to Louis Holmes for our shooter introductions.
Okay, and now we have the most experienced archers, the senior pros, starting with Tim Gillingham, the Hammer from Provo, Utah, shooting for Bowtech, a 411 with 12 bonus rings. Fourth place, Tony Tazza, shooting for Hoyt from Pennsylvania with a 414 with 9 bonus rings. And shooting for Matthews, Kevin Cook from Chili Coffee, Illinois, kind of a fun one to say. 418 with 11 bonus rings. And in second place, we have Lauren Lohr from Michigan, shooting for Prime, a 419 with 17 bonus rings. And your current leader, Michael Braden from Keller, Texas, shooting for PSE, 421 with 16 bonus rings.
All right, Darren, same drill. We're going to go. Each archer's going to shoot at one of these targets. What I like about this is here's Lauren Lohr. He is in the senior pros. He's been pro for 9 years. This is his first shoot down.
I was going to ask about that. I shot with Lauren at a couple tournaments this year. Super nice guy. He's got a good shot, and when I saw him on the board yesterday, I was like, man, he's killing it. And then I saw his name on the final board here. I was like, he had a fantastic weekend. That's good. It's good to see him up there because I want to see good people succeed, and Lauren's a super dude.
Absolutely. And, of course, as we mentioned, there is the Hammer, Tim Gillingham.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Tim 14's his target. I think he gets the first two. If he gets this deer and gets that lynx, it's game on. Let's see what he does here. Good look at Tim there.
He's shooting the XL deer. He went at it.
Oh, he's just left of it.
He had the yardage.
He won't like that.
There's Lauren Lohr is shooting at the Aoudad, and I don't know if Lauren called upper, but he got the upper.
He hit 17 bonus rings in regulation, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Coming back here, Kevin Cook. Here's that over-the-shoulder shot there.
See how well his bow's tuned. Arrow's flying pretty good.
Looks nice. Just right for Kevin Cook on the Javelina. Don Bailey's out there now checking the targets. He is on the links with Michael Braden.
That's a good start for Mike.
A 12.
That's what he wants. Let's see if Lauren can keep pace if he called that upper. Just a 10, so he must not have. So Lauren obviously overjudged that target a little bit. He's going to have to make an adjustment on his numbers here. Just to the right for Kevin there on that Javelina.
As we mentioned, Kevin Cook, he won our last event in Coleman, Alabama, so he's back in the hunt again.
Yeah, he's far from out of it.
Now here we have Hoyt Pro Tony Tazza. We haven't seen Tony since Foley, since the very first tournament. He's been staying at home. good to see him back out and in the shoot down.
He's always a good shooter, good person, good chance to win at every tournament.
Tim Gillingham takes an 8. Goes him to 419.
You can bet the farm that Gillingham will shoot at the 14 on this links.
Yeah.
It is going to happen.
There's Tony Tazza. He runs an archery shop in Pennsylvania. Longtime Hoyt rep. Everybody knows Tony out here.
Tony owns a shop.
Yep.
Is it Johnstown, PA, where his shop
Johnstown,
is?
Yep, that is correct.
He's helping archers and bow hunters in the Northeast get set up and do their things.
Lauren Lohr shooting. Get a good look at him.
Lauren's got a good shot.
He sure looks comfortable for his first shoot down ever.
He judged well this weekend too. Hats off to Lauren.
Hold there. I think he was.
If he shot that.
Tony just went for the 14 and hit it. Tony Tazza on that large deer.
That'll help his cause.
Here's Michael Braden at the
Good
All
look
Dad.
at Mike.
That looks like a nice center 10 there. Yep, right in the middle.
Perfect.
All right, let's see what the hammer did here. He went for it.
14.
You called it.
He's liable to go with this Audad next too. It's a little longer, but he needs it.
So this is Michael Braden on the Audad. That's a center 10.
I believe Lawrence. Yeah, the good look there. That's Lauren Lohr's there. He smashed that 12 on that Javelina.
Whatever issue he had on the previous target, he fixed.
He fixed it quick.
12.
That takes the pressure off. Got that bonus ring out there in the shoot down.
Long Wolverine for Kevin Cook. That's a 10.
10. Always good on that. Anytime you can get a 10 on that, you just run to the next target.
And here's Tony Tazza on this deer. Crowd's going to give a big cheer when they turn this 14 around. Yes.
Good for Tony. So Kevin's going to have to hit some rings here. Tony jumped up in there. Well, he's tied with Kevin now.
Yep.
Tim's only 5 points out of third right now, so it's far from over.
I like to see these guys. We had a shot there of Michael Braden looking through the back of his binoculars to see his sight tape. That helps him magnify it.
I've said it before. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
At 50 plus, if you've got good vision, you're blessed. You're lucky.
Yes, we should mention senior pro. What that means is these guys are all 50 and over.
Mm-hmm. Good look at Mike right there. He's got such a great shot routine. Does everything super consistent.
Look at him, just nothing moving.
He works hard on his shot.
He does. There's another one of Lauren.
Good shot, Lauren.
Lauren Lohr on the long Wolverine. Takes it center 10.
Lauren's going to be disappointed season's over because he's got this figured out right now.
Here's Kevin Cook. A replay of his shot.
They scared him.
That deer, yeah. Just right.
I don't know what he got or how he did it, but Gillingham did shoot the 14 on that Audad. So.
Tony Tazza takes an 8 on the links.
Oh,
he was just wide.
He's not going to like that.
No, that's for Tim. That's
perfect yardage and
Yeah.
3 inches to the right.
And so that's the gamble with
Yeah.
going for that 14. The 5 is right there.
The risk reward, and unfortunately it didn't pay off that time. That's a good shot on that Javelina, just getting a 10 but scared that 12.
That's Michael Braden on the Javelina. Takes a 10.
Mm-hmm. Kevin's already shot the Wolverine. Mike's going to move to the Wolverine.
Comes Lauren Lohr on the Wolverine. And he takes a 10.
Pretty sure Braden will take a 10 on that and be happy as well.
Now we're coming over to Kevin Cook. Boy, that looks like a good, that's going to be close to that. Oh,
just to the right.
Just missed it.
This is the pivotal target for Michael Braden here. 2-point lead on the toughest target out there. If he gets a 10 here, he'll get a 10 or 12 on the final target there, and then we'll have a 6th and final arrow for 3 or 4 guys. It'll be interesting here.
You see that multicolored bow that Michael has there, and I've heard people call it Skittles and a rainbow. I've heard all kinds of descriptions for the color of that bow.
Maybe psychedelic.
But he was changing bows yesterday because he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. Switching bows back and forth, couldn't find what he wanted to shoot. He came back to this one. He calls this one Old Faithful, and it apparently was the right decision.
He's shooting it well.
Look at that stabilizer end, hardly moves at all.
Good 10.
That's a
That's
10.
probably right where he was aiming, center 10 on that thing.
Lauren Lohr on the large deer.
Another center 10 as well. I think Tim shot at the 14 on the Javelina. He figures he's all in now. He's got to go for it. Good look at Kevin
Cook there. And he was on the links and he got that one.
I think Kevin's shooting a 4-fletched arrow. Gillingham may have started that trend. He knows arrows as well as anybody, and they see how well he shoots them 4-fletched, so a lot of people are doing it. Good 12 for Kevin.
Kevin Cook. It is pronounced Cook, I should mention. I asked him, and that's how he pronounced it. Tony Tazza on the Audad with a 10. Moves him to 456. Here we come to Tim Gillingham.
Oh, he's so close.
Man.
That thing is so little. They're going to probably get the light out on that. You can see it's that foam pulls. It is soft when the arrow goes in. It distorts that foam, but that line has to touch that arrow for it to get the higher value. I'm going to say it's an 8.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
It's just out.
Just out.
Super close. Well, he sure tried.
He did.
He sure tried.
So now we're coming around to Michael Braden with that 10 we expected on the long Wolverine.
This is going to be interesting still. 1 arrow in regulation to go here. Anybody within 10 points of the leader is going to get to shoot a 6th arrow. 10 there for Lauren.
All right, yeah, so we have Michael Braden at 463, Lauren Lohr 461, Kevin Cook 460, and then not out of it, Tony Tazza 456. He's still within that 10 points. Tim Gillingham at 446.
Tony's calling upper on that Javelina. Mike with a 2-point lead. Mike could really help his cause here.
Yeah, this is
with a 12 with a bonus ring, because if we shoot the 6th arrow, guys will probably be gunning to that 14 to put the pressure on him. Just right of it.
To the right.
Good 10. He didn't give anything up there.
Lauren Lohr.
Lauren could really use a 14 here. He went at the 12 and got a 10.
There's the hammer, Tim Gillingham. He's got a lot going on with gloves and blinders.
And I think he 14 the
hardest,
hardest target out there. You gotta love it.
Lauren Lohr with a 10 on the links. Moves him to 471. Next up is Kevin Cook on this Audad.
That's going to change things a little bit.
Yeah. He's not too happy with that.
An 8.
Shaking his head. He didn't like that.
He was aiming aggressive at that, I'm sure.
Next, Tony Tazza on the Javelina. He's going to take a 10 as well. Now, here we go. He can do incredible things with a bow and arrow. That's just
awesome.
14. Thumbs up from Tim.
He's shaking his head. He knows he was so close to making a big run right there, and he was.
And our leader, Michael Braden, he took that 10 for a 473.
It's not over.
Not over?
But they're going to have to hit some rings to put the pressure on Mike.
Yeah. So we're going to go to our 6th arrow. We haven't seen that yet, Darren. Tell us what's going to happen and what they're going to do out of it.
They're going to either set a new target, which would be a 6th target, and then Don will pick somewhere on the floor for them to shoot. They'll give everybody 1 minute to judge it, and then whoever's in, it's going to be Tony Tazza is going to be shooting first because he's in 4th right now. Kevin Cook will shoot next, then Lauren will shoot, then the leader, Michael Braden, will shoot. Well, Michael will get to see what he needs to do based on what everybody else does in front of him. So it looks like they're bringing out a stand and maybe bring out a Blesbach, which is a dark target, so you won't be able to see detail. The 14 won't be able, it's not going to be easy to see. But I assume these guys are going to have to go for it. And they may not, if they're wanting to wrap up a podium position and a pretty good payday, they may not get too risky, but we'll see.
Yeah, we should mention podiums, the manufacturers of the various equipment, they pay out contingencies for 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is what a lot of these guys do for a living, or at least part of their living. So they want to get it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, the difference between 3rd and 1st is several $1,000s from manufacturers too. So they want to make good business decisions here. But also you want to give yourself a chance to win. You don't want to drive home or fly home and go, man, I wish I would have. That's the worst feeling in the world.
You're setting up the target there.
You can see Ken doesn't normally set the ranges.
That's a sliding base there that they're with basically something like rebar on the bottom that slides up into a pipe.
It's a piece of half-inch conduit up in that leg, and sometimes they'll get foam in there, and you won't be able to get the leg in there. Ken's smiling. Took 2 people to do that.
And it was caught on camera. So. So now our archers are judging. You can see Michael out there looking.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see those glasses in his shirt. He was shooting with those on this weekend. He said that was new for him. He's having some vision issues, but in this shoot down here, he has not shot with his glasses on. So something must have changed.
Interesting. This is a tricky distance too. Again, we don't know what this distance is, but it's farther than the Audad. It's not as far as the Wolverine. So I'm going to guess this is like a mid-40s target. 43, 44, 45, and that's just a guess. I don't know, but that doesn't make it easy to hit those bonus rings, especially the 14.
It looks like they put them in the shooter's box from the 3rd position. Tony Tazza is going to be up first here. Boy, if he can see that 14, I mean, he has nothing to lose.
I think they'll get close to it because they're just a few yards past the Audad. So if you can do some basic math there, good look there. You can see it's just past the Audad. So they're going to have an idea. They're going to be within a yard or 2, really close right here. So we may see a couple bonus rings. I think Tony shoots aggressive at the 12 here. Nope.
Oh,
he
and he got it. And folks, that is vintage Tony Tazza. He does this all the time in the shoot downs.
Way to prove me wrong, Tony.
Unbelievable.
Good shot.
5. Mike Tyrell called out 5.
Well,
there it is.
Everybody that follows him now, that changed their mind because they have to hit a bonus ring. That's a 70. That's a 480 for Tony right now. So Kevin has to shoot a 12 to tie him. If he wants to have a chance at getting 2nd, he needs to shoot the 14.
Kevin's shooting in his bare socks there. I guess he just felt that's the way to go. I didn't notice if he did that through the whole shoot down, but he is now.
Yeah. Shoeless Joe Jackson up there. I think he has to go with the 14 here. A 10 will do him no good. That puts him at 78. Then Lauren would just need 7 points to beat him on bonus rings. They'd be tied with a 7, which doesn't happen. He would just need an 8 to take it. I think Kevin has to go with the 14. He did.
Oh, just missed it.
He's going to catch the 8 line there. So that will likely take Kevin off the podium.
Yeah.
Good decision, though. I think that's what he had to do there.
Waiting for Don and Ken to go out there and make the official call, but it seems destined at this point. Well, breaking out the light. That's going to be a choice between either an 8 or a 5.
I believe it's an 8.
Yeah,
it is.
That's an 8.
So that puts him at 76.
76.
So Lauren needs a 5 to take second right now with Mike left to shoot. A 10 will put him at 81, which will put him ahead of Tony. Then Mike would just need an 8 to tie, and we'd shoot another arrow. So it looks like unless Lauren shoots a 14 here, Michael Braden's probably going to have to shoot a center 10 to win this. Lauren needs a bonus ring to put some pressure on Mike here.
He can go for that 14 because
He sure
he takes
can.
a 5. He's still going to get second on
Yeah.
bonus rings. He has more. And Kevin Cook. Lauren Lohr settling in.
Shot a 10.
10.
He'll finish with an 81. So Michael Braden will lay that pin right in the middle of that 10 ring and do one of those super strong shots that he does.
So there's a look at Lauren Lohr. Hey, let's talk about that. Taking second place for your first pro shoot down.
Nothing
That's
wrong
not
with
bad.
that. Nothing wrong with that. He made good decisions. He judged the targets good. And he shot his bow pretty stinking good this weekend. Bravo, Lauren.
Congratulations to Lauren Lohr. He's going to take home second. There's Tony. Tony's got third locked up.
Mike needs a 10, an 8 here, and we'll shoot another arrow. If he shoots a 10, it's game over.
I think they're trying to coax him into going for that 14.
When you have to have it, the 10 ring's not as big as you think it is. So, but I think as good as Mike holds, you see he does the same thing every time. He'll make a strong shot here and put that pin right in the middle of that 10 and probably be your champion. Good enough.
There you go.
Good shot, Michael B.
So, as we mentioned, Michael Braden.
Another
ASA,
double dipper.
Yeah, ASA Classic Champ and Senior Pro Shooter of the Year. Good season for Michael. It's funny when you talk to him, you always think that he's not in it at all because he's, oh man, it's a tough weekend. I'm not seeing numbers. He comes out on top.
Yeah, yeah. And I follow Mike on social media. He's a hard worker. He's always out there sweating, working, posting his 30-yard practice routine. And I know he says his numbers are a little bit off. Well, they weren't off too bad because he shot 21 up this weekend. That's strong. So we'll get to talk to Mike in a minute and, find out a little bit more about what got him here this weekend.
He looks pretty comfortable as he comes over to our interview area. Let's see if he can hear us. Can you hear us, Michael?
I hear voices in my head.
What's up, Michael B?
Hey, guys.
Hey, double dipping on the contingency this weekend, huh?
Doing my best. We missed a few months in between, so I'm trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah, and I know, Sharon, Shooter of the Year, she won the Classic. You're Shooter of the Year, you just won the Classic. We follow you on social media. I know you work hard at this game. Do a lot of your little black square dot practice. You said your numbers weren't right, but you're looking at targets. I know you're out there busting your butt. How's it feel to get rewarded for all the hard work?
Man, it's awesome. Every one of them is special, no doubt. But, yeah, there's no guarantee in this game. You can put in 80 hours a week, and there's no guarantee you're going to get a check. So you do the best you can and give it all you got, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, well, man, congratulations. Great weekend. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Michael Braden, 2020 Shooter of the Year and ASA Classic Champ. Folks, we're going to take a break, and then we're coming back to Open Pro. We're going to get to see the big guns shooting it down here at the ASA Classic here in Foley, Alabama. So we'll be right back.
Announcing the new patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. True Ball Excel. We make archery better.
If you're punching the clock between punching tags, chances are you know a thing or two about hard work. Because when you put in the time, you better get your money's worth. Boom! A new Hoyt Nitrix. This thing is tough as nails, and at 4.1 pounds, it's lighter than most Chihuahuas. And oh yeah, it also slings an arrow at 333 feet per second. It never gives an inch. It'll go against anything, Cape buffalo, white-tailed deer, elk, or snapping turtle, it don't matter. You want a bow you can drag through the mud and trust in your tree stand come bow season? This is your freezer filling, tag punching, season saving, all around go-to bow. And only your Hoyt dealers got it. This is the Hoyt Nitrix.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
The ASA Classic coverage is brought to you by Black Eagle Arrows. All right, Darren Christenbury, here we are looking at the Open Pro standings. This is like a who's who of Open Pro. We've got a bunch of seasoned veterans here. Dan McCarthy leading the way with a 432. Levi Morgan, 13-time Shooter of the Year at 424. Andy Callaway, 422. Jack Wallace, 414. And Shane Bragg at 410.
This is going to be an interesting shoot-off. We've got some big guns out there with that 14 ring in play. I'm anxious to see what happens.
All right, let's go over to Louis Holmes for our shooter introductions.
There's nothing unknown about these next 5 guys. All right, so we got the Open Pro guys. Coming in 5th, shooting for Prime, Shane Bragg from Michigan, 410 with 10 bonus rings. We want you guys to applause afterwards. All right. Coming in 4th, shooting for PSC, Jack Wallace, from South Carolina, 414 with 13 bonus rings. Andy Callaway coming in third, shooting for Matthews from South Carolina, 422, 15 bonus rings. I think we all know this guy. Coming in second, Levi Morgan from Pennsylvania, shooting for Matthews, 424 with 15 bonus rings. And your current leader, Dan McCarthy, sitting in first with a 432 with 17 bonus rings. Shooting for Matthews from Wisconsin.
All right, Darren. Well, they're lining up for the first target there. Yeah, there we get a good look at Dan McCarthy. Considered by many to be like one of the more cerebral archers out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking at Danny's score here on the paper in front of us. 17 bonus rings for the weekend, so that's a potential of 34 up. He finished with 32 up. He shot 1-8 out of 40 targets out there this weekend. All the lighting, all the shadows, all the judging, all the chances to make a mistake, and he made one. So, man, oh man, I mean, that gives me goosebumps thinking about it. So that's how good these guys are at what they do, and that's phenomenal shooting. He's got an 8-point lead over Levi. Levi just won Shooter of the Year again. I'm anxious to see how aggressive, meaning does Levi really go at 14s and try to push Dan? Is he happy with winning Shooter of the Year? Is he going to try to win the Classic as well? So we're getting ready to find out.
Yeah, we're looking at Shane Bragg. He is on the XL Deer. Oh, Shane went for the 14, and it went real high.
He caught some foam. He's going to get 5 points out of it.
That was Dan McCarthy on the links there. That's a center 10. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Shane. He must have misset his sight. Here's a look at Andy Callaway.
That's a good look right there.
Good shot there. Just off the 12 for Andy Callaway. Let's go out here to Don Bailey and get our scoring underway. Dan McCarthy, we have that 10 for Dan. Gonna move him to 442. Next up is Levi Morgan on the Audad.
And let's see what he's got.
There we go.
12 points.
Good shot for Levi.
So that leads now 6. This is going to be a good shoot down.
Next up, we've got Andy Callaway on that Javelina, 410, or excuse me, with a 10 for a 432.
Jack on that. Oh, that's a good look right there. That's really close to that 12, just over it.
10.
Jack calls uppers.
Oh, right.
That's right. He shoots uppers on everything but the turkey, so he was probably just a couple yards short on that target.
Now, here's the one. Shane Bragg. Boy, he just managed to catch foam there.
They call that wonder foam. Wonder it stayed in there.
Yeah, you can see there Ken fixing it. That's where he was in that very top. Any more speed and that would have gone through, that would have been a 0.
Saved Mike from having to pay for a patch job on that wall back there by hitting that target. Shane will regroup and probably go with the 14 on this links as well. He was 22 points behind Dan. He came in 5th, so he really has nothing to lose. He can be as aggressive as he wants to be.
Got to look at Jack Wallace there.
We talk about consistency, or I do all the time. I'm watching these guys do it. Michael Braden's got a real consistent shot. Jax does the same thing over and over and over and over.
Oh, and he went for the 14, and I believe he got it. Jack Wallace, 21 years a pro. He doesn't look old enough to be a pro for 21 years.
He won Shooter of the Year back in 1996, I believe it was.
Unbelievable.
He was
Dan McCarthy.
He must have been like 7.
That's Dan McCarthy's arrow on the Audad. We're going to go down here to Shane Bragg. Looks like he went 14 hunting.
He did. And the verdict is, there you go. Good for Shane. Good comeback there. Very good comeback.
Dan McCarthy on the Audad.
Just a 10.
That's a 10. Moves him to 452.
Levi was close on that one.
Oh, just left.
So Dan's lead will still be 6 points.
Yeah. There's Andy Callaway on the long javelina, center 10.
It's a great shot on that target.
Moves him to 442. And now here he is, Jack Wallace.
Jack's going to make his move to try to get on the podium.
Yeah. One of the best at judging out there is Jack Wallace. If he 438.
If he 14'd that one, I'd say he's going to 14 the next one as well.
So we've got Dan McCarthy at 452, Levi Morgan 446, Andy Callaway at 442, Jack Wallace 438, and Shane Bragg 429. Everyone rotated around.
Levi's on what I call the pivotal target out there, is that Wolverine. He gets past it with a 10 or better. Good look at Levi there. Strong shot.
And he got it. The longest target out there, and that's not questionable. He punched that.
Oh, not surprised. Oh,
Dan.
McCarthy answers. Nothing gained there. They both just traded off scores.
He's probably saying freaking McCarthy again.
I wonder, Levi's going to come down. His last 2 targets are the 2 shortest ones, so an 8 for Jack.
That's an 8 for Jack.
He must have went at the 14 there. I didn't see where it landed.
446, so we're coming over to Shane Bragg on the Audad. He went for the 14. Takes an 8. Moves him to
good 12 by Dan there.
437.
Almost inside out.
12 for Dan McCarthy. 464. And here's the long bomb.
That's a great shot, Mr. Morgan.
Unbelievable shot there.
I know him by Levi, but he has earned Mr. Morgan.
Oh, he must have called upper. Wait, he's looking around.
Levi never shoots uppers.
No. 12 for Andy Callaway.
Maybe he does on that target. I don't know.
He doesn't. He didn't dispute that, so I guess Levi did go
Maybe
upper.
he did. Maybe. Well,
all right. Well, 464 for Dan McCarthy, 456 for Levi Morgan. Andy Callaway with that 12 comes to 454. Got a 446 for Jack Wallace and 437 for Shane Bragg.
So Dan's lead is back up to 8 points. Levi, I think, has to try to 14 this deer here if he wants to win this tournament. I think Levi has to go with the 14 here if he wants to win this tournament. And then if he does, I think Dan will have to follow suit. So these next 2 arrows are huge.
Got a good look here at Andy Callaway. He's got his wife Janet and his dad Rich in the audience.
And Thor, don't forget Thor.
Thor, yes, absolutely. His dog Thor is always with him. Oh, that's a good shot.
That's
there.
close. Good look at Jack.
He went for it on that.
Everybody's 14 hunting.
Andy does not look, he didn't look happy with that shot, but boy, it sure looks
It's close. It's very
Let's see
close.
what Don Bailey calls here.
14 or 8.
Getting out the light.
It's a good look there. I'm thinking it's just under it. Just a sliver of foam between the arrow and that line.
Shuffling the cards.
And
yep.
it is.
8.
Good shot at it, though. Man, oh, man, that's close. Jack shot at the 14 on the aoudad.
So that's a 462 for Andy Callaway. Jack's going to take an 8 here. Move him to 454.
Shane went at the 14 on the Javelina.
Oh, look at that. Another one.
I think that one's in. Let's call that one in, Don.
We've had a
he didn't
lot
look very
out.
long. I think it is in. I think we're going to get that one.
There it is.
Good shot. That's a small, most of the 14s are either equal to or even just a touch bigger, but on the Javelina, it's a touch smaller than the 12, so it's a tough target. Good center 10 for Dan.
474 for Dan.
And then
now Levi, he went for, I think
he's
boy,
got
I
it.
can't see it, but it looks like he crushed it.
I haven't seen the camera angle yet, but from here it looks like he's got it. How about dead center?
How about that?
See, I think Dan has to go with the 14 here because Levi's going to 14 this links. 14, that cuts his lead to 4. Big arrow for McCarthy here, but man, he always hits him when he has to, so he can shoot the 12. But if Levi 14's the links, then his lead's only 2. So big arrow right here coming up.
He padded his distance between third place Andy Callaway, so he did gain some ground there.
I really think McCarthy goes at the 14 here. I know that sounds crazy. Well, he's still got a 4-point lead. I get it, but Levi's shooting the shortest target on the range right now. He just dead centered this deer, so I have no doubt he's going to 14 this links over there. Look at the determination on that guy.
You think he wants it?
Yeah, breathing heavy, getting psyched up. And watch the master go to work here. Oh, you did not get it.
Dan McCarthy's still holding.
If Dan knew that, he would change. No, he just went at the 12 and got it.
Got it.
He obviously knows what he's doing. I'm surprised, but.
So look at Andy Callaway on that aoudad. Just left.
So a 12 and an 8, that'll be a 4-point swing back. McCarthy's lead will go back to 8 with one arrow, with the final arrow to come.
478 for Levi Morgan. Andy Callaway, that's going to be an 8 as well. 470 for Andy. Coming over to Jack Wallace. 8 for him. 462.
And Shane still, no, I thought he may have shot at the 14 there.
He takes a
He got
10.
a 10.
461. And our leader, Dan McCarthy, he did what he needed to do.
Smashed that 12. Good look there.
All right. Big cheer for Dan there. 486. He is our leader. So we're gonna.
One arrow to go.
And there's only 2 guys up.
So
it's just going to be Dan and Levi.
Yeah.
I think Dan's telling him, I think you should go for the 14.
Yeah.
Just go for that 14.
He's going to go for it, I know, because he's got nothing to lose. 2 guys left. The only guys that are within 10 points of the leader will shoot this final arrow, which is just Levi. He's 8 points behind Dan, so he has nothing. If he can miss the target and still get second. if he 14s it, I don't think that's enough pressure to spook Dan McCarthy.
So that's one thing that Levi said today about Dan McCarthy pushing him is he said Dan McCarthy does not get nervous. And Levi said he was nerves all day today, you know, gunning for that shooter of the year. And he's like, Dan McCarthy just doesn't get nervous.
Yeah, if he does get nervous, I mean, he's got to feel something at some point, but I don't know. He obviously handles it well. Whatever mental program or what he's telling himself mentally, he handles that pressure well. Even indoors, Dan's a great indoor shooter.
Yeah.
He's got a good, well-rounded mental game for any archery challenge out there.
We should mention that Dan is our 2019 shooter of the year in this division. So, and he finished second this year to Levi.
And 2005.
Yep. He said last year he's gotten as good at coming in second to Levi as Levi has at coming in first in shooter of the year.
That's not a bad place to be if you start doing all the math and check with your accountant, because those checks add up.
Absolutely.
Levi already gave Dan a hug, so I'm pretty sure he's conceded this win. But we're going to shoot this arrow just to see what happens anyway.
Let's give the crowd a show here.
Shoot it left-handed, Levi.
Big round of applause. Good luck there from Dan. We've got the Bless Buck out there. They're shooting from the third position as well. Looks like they didn't put it exactly where the seniors. Might have moved it up just a little bit, but it's close to the same spot.
Oh. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Another one.
That just makes me smile watching that.
Unbelievable.
Might as well 12 it. Show him you can hit that bonus ring too.
How many times have we seen this where it comes down to these two in this division?
A bunch. And that's good. Even if you're, I mean, if you finish second at every tournament, that just tells me you're one of the best there is, because you're always right there. I know it would be frustrating for a streak of second place finishes, but man, that just means you're really awesome at what you're doing.
You should say Dan won here the first tournament of the year in Foley.
12.
Got it.
Man, that's fantastic.
I see your bonus ring.
Yep. That's fantastic. Congratulations, Dan McCarthy.
Don Bailey makes it official. Dan McCarthy getting his congratulations there. There's his wife, Emily. Big hug there from her. We're going to hear from our 2020 ASA Classic champ over here in a minute, Dan McCarthy. Had to collect his arrow from Don Bailey there.
Just another day at work.
We'll get a smile out of him yet.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to come right on over and put on the headsets. Let's see if we can hear him. Dan, can you hear us?
Hello?
Can you hear us, Dan? You got us, Dan?
Who am I supposed to talk to?
Can you hear us here, Dan?
Check, check. No, I can hear this whole time.
Hi, Dan McCarthy. Darren Christenbury here. Great shooting, buddy.
Thanks, man.
We were just talking there briefly before everything finished up. I was complimenting you and Levi on your battles, you know, how many times we've seen it. and I was complimenting on your mental game. You know, you're not just strong out here in the 3D world. You've got it indoors everywhere you go. Dan McCarthy, you know, PJ said you don't get nervous. I said if he gets nervous, he handles it well, and that's an attribute to your mental game. You know, where do you get that from? How do you stay so mentally stable and mentally tough out there?
Man, if you guys could feel kind of what we feel out here, I feel like you're giving me a little more credit than it's probably due. I get nervous. Everybody gets nervous out here. I think what tears your mental game down out here is when you think you're the only one on that line that's nervous. I think being realistic and realizing that all of us out here are nervous, every one of us. If my heart's beating, that means that I shot well enough for it to matter, and that's a good thing, you know. So you take that energy and you go with it and you just shoot through it, and you let the chips fall where they fall, and you know that's it. I mean, try to not make it any bigger than what it is. It's a big tournament. You want to win them all, but you're going to lose way more than you're going to win, and that's just part of the game.
Yeah, man, that's a great way to put it. You handle it well. If you're nervous, you don't show it very much. Hats off to you, buddy. Congratulations.
I
great
appreciate
weekend.
It. Thanks a lot, Darren.
Great win there from Dan McCarthy. Second win of the season for him. He was messing with us there a little bit at the end, Darren. All right, folks, we are going to be right back. In a short while, we're going to have our known pro. That's going to be our last division of the night here at the ASA Classic in Foley, Alabama. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Announcing the new patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. True Ball Excel. We make archery better.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable, and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches, and you can just stand there on the line. You don't have to run and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.
The ASA Classic coverage is brought to you by Elite. All right, Darren Christenbury, we're looking here at the known pro standings there. We had Kyle Douglas, 2020 Vegas champ, up there at 442. Robert Householder, 440. He is the ASA Shooter of the Year and known pro. Connor Sears at 440. Jeff Rainey, 438. Brady Hempen, 436.
Yeah, this is a close race right here. These guys are obviously using rangefinders. It's known pro. So 6 points from first to fifth. This is really anybody's ball game. I see some familiar names up there. Obviously, Kyle Douglas, Robert Householder. Connor Sears is rocking an awesome new hairdo. So anything could happen out there right now.
All right, let's go to Louis Holmes for our shooter introductions.
We have the 14s all marked up. These guys know the yardage. It's time to have the known pros. First up, sitting in fifth place, shooting for Hoyt, Brady Hempen from Paducah, Kentucky. 440 with 22 bonus rings. Sitting in fourth, shooting for PSE, Jeff Rainey from Wichita, Kansas, a 440 with 23 bonus rings. Sitting in third, shooting for Matthews, Connor Sears from Texas with a 442 with 21 bonus rings. Sitting in second, shooting for Matthews, Robert Householder from Alabama, 442 with 23 bonus rings. And Kyle Douglas, shooting for PSE from Utah, sitting in first place with a 444 with 24 bonus rings.
All right, Darren, as we mentioned, rangefinders in play here. So they're going to know exactly the distance to these targets. And we're going to have a little different format here. It's going to be single file shooting. So once Kyle shoots, we're going to move then next to Brady, over to Jeff Rainey, Connor Sears, and then end up with Robert Householder. So.
Yeah, the graphic that I saw on the TV I think is a little bit different. There, it's perfect there. We're 4 points from first to fifth now. So this is truly anybody's ball game with 5, potentially 6 arrows to go. So this will be interesting.
Look at Kyle Douglas, as we mentioned, 2020 Vegas shoot champion. That is one of the biggest tournaments in the world that you can win. Indoor archery.
Kyle called upper 12 there. I'm surprised. I would think with that being the shortest target, him as good a shooter as he is, knowing the distance, that he would gun at that 14, and he might be. But he did call upper 12. We'll see what he does here. He went at the upper 12 and got a 10.
Wow. Brady Hempen, 19 years old, is Brady Hempen from Paducah, Kentucky.
Brady's a good shooter.
Shooting at that aoudad. I think he got that one.
That's a 12.
Now here's Jeff Rainey. As we mentioned, new faces.
This
is his first shoot down.
Good for him. Looks like he's aiming good, too.
He is a rookie in the known pro division as well.
Holding a long time. Good shot.
Connor Sears, another 19 years old.
Got an awesome hairdo. Second time I've mentioned that. I like it.
Oh, just off for a 5. And now we got Robert Householder, Shooter of the Year, 2-time Shooter of the Year. And if he called upper, I'm sure he did.
He
pounded
smoked it.
that.
Yeah, he did.
I'd be surprised if he didn't.
We can't see all of it as it develops, so we don't know sometimes who shoots upper and who doesn't. But here's
so
Kyle.
Here comes Kyle on the links. He takes a 10. In this division, you got to hit bonus.
You have to.
In this shoot down.
To shoot 40-some up every tournament is, that's getting it done.
This is going to be Brady Hempen. Taking a look.
I thought that was pretty clear from that first camera angle.
Let's see what Don Bailey pulls out here. Yep, he's right on
12.
12.
Yeah. That tightened things up a little bit.
452.
He was in 5th. Now he's 2 points out of the lead.
Next up, we got Jeff Rainey with a 10. Moves him to 450. Now we're going to go to Connor Sears. Connor's one of the first folks under 18 and under to shoot a perfect 900 in Vegas. He's going to take a 5 on this one.
That really hurts right there, too.
He's not going
as
like
tight
that.
as those scores were, that hurts.
And Robert
called the upper.
Yeah, he did.
And smashed it.
So, now we've got a tie.
Yeah. After one arrow.
After one arrow.
Yeah.
That's how fast it can change. Robert Householder swung around to the #1 target, so this is the shortest one. This is the links.
Yeah, we've shot one arrow. We've got a tie for first. Brady was in 5th. He's jumped up to 2nd. Connor was in 3rd. He's dropped to 5th. So that's how fast and how important each arrow is in this division. How fast it can change and how important, I should say, how important each arrow is.
Robert's calling the upper on the links.
I'm surprised. I thought these guys would just mash the gas at this 14 on this target.
He did.
Okay.
There you go.
That makes more sense to me.
Kyle Douglas up here from Utah.
Kyle's got a look of determination on his face. Yeah. Here's Brady. He holds that post so steady. It's just barely moving out there.
Just left. Jeff Rainey, he shot awesome this weekend. Everybody was like, who's that guy, Jeff Rainey?
Mm-hmm.
They know who he is now.
Yep. Just left at the 12.
Left.
See if Connor goes at the 14 here. I bet he will. No.
Oh. Man, he must have something going on there with
right
his sight.
For an 8 there.
All right. Robert Householder with a 14. Moves him to 468.
So he's going to take a 4-point lead with that arrow now.
Kyle Douglas is going to take a 10. 464. Coming over to Brady Hempen. It's going to be a 10 as well. 462. Now we've got Jeff Rainey on that Wolverine. He's going to take a 10 to get to 460. Here's Connor Sears. This is his first ever pro shoot down, so
he might be having trouble seeing with these lights. And an 8. Depending on his lens, aperture, clarifier, whatever he's got in there. This fluorescent lighting can make it difficult. I don't know what he's got going on there, but those arrows were impacted weird from knowing the distance.
all right, Connor Sears at 455. That is correct.
So Householder's got a 4-point lead.
Connor's first up here.
Kyle's in 2nd. Brady's in 3rd.
Shortest target here. Let's see what he does. Something's going on.
I think he'll go with the 14 here. He almost has to with dropping points on the first 2 targets. No, still went at
Center
the 12.
10.
Just hit above it there for a 10, I believe. Householder.
Householder's
See
up.
if he can build on his lead. I'd say he did.
He always calls uppers, yep. Kyle Douglas. Got it.
12. Good shot, Kyle. Brady on that long Wolverine.
Long hold.
I see a little bit of movement there.
Yeah, just
probably
off.
got the 10.
Yep. Now we got Jeff Rainey on the XL Deer.
Jeff's got some long arrow point in that thing.
He does.
He went at the 14.
Just off.
Just left for a 5, I believe.
All right, let's see what we got here for Connor Sears on the links.
Making Don work, putting on the glasses, getting out the light. I say 10.
Yeah, little too much of the arrow in the center bonus ring, or excuse me, center 10 ring.
Obviously don't have the final say, but
10, yep. 465 for Connor Sears. Next up, we're going to go to Robert Householder.
things are working for him. He's going to increase his lead here.
Wow. 480 for Robert Householder.
Good
Kyle
12 for
Douglas
Kyle.
comes back with a 12. 476. Now we've got Brady Hempen. That's going to be a 10 for Brady. 472. Jeff Rainey at this deer.
Just left for a 5. Those 5s hurt so bad.
Yeah. 465.
Especially in the known class. They're so hard to come back from because these guys are just top-notch shooters, and when they know the distance, they hit what they're aiming at the majority of the time.
So Jeff Rainey moves around to our #1 target. Again, the shortest one, the Lynx. There you see him setting his sight.
I wonder if Kyle will go for this 14 on the deer when he gets to it down here. He's got to get through this Wolverine here.
Jeff Rainey.
Householder has just got a 4-point lead since Kyle 12 that Javelina, so I thought he had extended it to 6, but correction there is still just 4 points.
Just over it.
Good strong shot, but it's going to get an 8.
Connor Sears is aiming at the Aoudad.
I think he's just under the 14.
Yep. Next up, Robert Householder on the Javelina.
$10.
Now here we go, Kyle Douglas on that Wolverine.
Just
Center
over
10
it.
also. And finally, Brady Hempen here on the XL Deer.
Good strong
Got
shot. Good shot, Brady.
Went for the 12 and he got it. All right, let's see what our scores are here. This is Jeff Rainey on the Lynx. He's going to take an 8. 473.
So close on that aoudad, but it's going to be just low, I believe.
Yeah, that's Connor Sears. Also an 8. .473 as well. Robert Householder takes a 10, 490.
Still a great shot on that.
.486. Robert keeps his 4-point lead, and now here we come to Brady Hempen. We're going to get a bonus ring here. Well. All right, well, that podium is now Brady Hempen is only 2 back of Kyle Douglas in second place there.
And Brady's going to the shortest target here. Kyle's on the deer. I don't know how aggressive Brady tends to be in this situation, but he really needs to 14 this. I don't know if I'm channeling any energy to him right now, but Brady, you need to 14 this if you want to have a chance to win this thing, I think.
Brady finished in second for Shooter of the Year in this division. Not bad for a 19-year-old kid.
He called upper. Let's see if he does what Householder did. Call upper and then shoot at the 14. No.
Oh, center.
10.
Jeff Rainey now on the aoudad.
Boy, he holds that bow nice.
Stabilizers sitting
barely
nice and
moving.
steady. Oh, I can't see that. Looks like it's tall, but I can't see the top of it. Connor Sears.
Good 12.
Got it. Now, here's Robert Householder on that long javelina. He did call upper.
Good 10.
And now Kyle Douglas on this deer, which is on the closer end. Oh, he went right at it.
Yeah.
No question there.
Chance for Kyle to make a move there.
Unbelievable.
It changes arrow to arrow. It's interesting.
Brady Hempen with a 10, 494. Now here's Jeff Rainey. I think that's just out, but
we can't see over the roll of the target. I can't tell for sure. It's an 8.
An 8. Connor Sears took the 12. Good
Connor
for
found
him.
that bonus ring. Good for him.
485.
He had a little bit of a rocky start there, but he found one there. That's good.
This was Robert Householder with a 10 on the long javelina.
I believe we're tied up.
And here comes our 14.
I believe we are all tied up.
That pending the score. Yes, we are all tied up atop the board. Kyle Douglas, he made his big move today. He shot well yesterday, but today was when he really started smashing it.
Yeah. And Robert came down to the last arrow for Shooter of the Year, I believe.
He did.
It's going to come down to the last arrow for the Classic.
That might not be good for your heart having a weekend like that.
No. Robert's such a soft-spoken guy. He's such a nice kid.
He works full-time in an archery shop. That's his job.
I'd let him set my bow up.
That's the thing I asked him. I said, when guys come in to get their bow set up, do they know who you are? And, he's soft-spoken. He said, yeah, some of them do. More of them are getting to know it now.
Yeah.
But he practices. I mean, we're shooting 3D here. He said his practice is 20 yards indoor on a Vegas face, which is basically a bullseye, your standard bullseye target. That's how he practices.
That's interesting to see or to hear that too, because he's got a reference. A bullseye, obviously.
Yeah.
Vegas face has a yellow center. If you're shooting, lenses and clarifiers, you can see the Super X in there. But on a lot of these targets, especially out when we're shooting the qualifying rounds, you can't see any detail or definition. You're just like silhouetting some of these things. So, hats off to him for having that practice routine and as successful as he is with this game. Good for him.
Brady Hempen is going to be our first shooter up, and they pushed that blessed buck back about as far as they can.
So Brady's 6 points off the lead. He can't finish any worse than third. He might as well try to 14 it. Let's see if I can channel you some of that energy now, Brady. You need a 14 here.
Called upper.
He went at it.
Just off. Good shot.
Good for him. Good weekend. Nothing wrong with third place in that class. I think we said it before. Hempen, Brady Hempen, we're going to hear that name a lot.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Now, Robert's actually in a good position here. If he can hit a bonus ring, he puts all the pressure back on Kyle.
Yeah.
Not that Kyle can't handle it. Not that he can't handle it, but he's in a good spot right here. Kyle will definitely know what he has to do. I think you smashed the 12 here. And if he does, then Kyle has a decision to make. Do you go with the 14 and try to win it outright? Bonus ring's about the same size. Guess it depends on what they can see when they're aiming. Oh, he went for it.
Just over with a 5.
So Kyle needs an 8 to win.
8 to win.
He shrugs his shoulders. Still smiling.
Not a bad way for Kyle Douglas to finish out the summer of his. He's not done yet, but finish out the summer of his 2020 season.
A guy with his skill set just needs an 8 to win. I'd bet some money on this arrow. That's a good look right there, right over the shoulder.
This will be his first ASA win. Kyle Douglas, his young career.
Kyle lives in Utah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got hunting season on the brain because their elk season probably comes in any day.
He has already shot a mule deer this year.
Oh, perfect.
He's on the board. There he goes.
Center 10, done.
Why not?
There's that familiar smile.
That's great for Kyle, getting your first win. He's going to come on over here. We're going to talk to Kyle here in a second. He's getting lots of congratulations. Everybody knows that's his first win there. Good weekend for PSE. Here comes Kyle Douglas over to our headset.
He'll be able to pay somebody to skin his elk now.
I think so.
He won't have to do it himself.
Kyle Douglas, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Kyle Douglas. Darren Christenbury here. First ASA win, right?
Yeah, first one.
What's better, killing a big elk, winning Vegas, or winning an ASA tournament?
It depends on how big the elk
Oh, that's awesome, man. Hey, great shooting. Congrats. I mean, obviously, you've won Vegas. You can win some indoors. This is going to do nothing but boost your confidence in a 3D game. I mean, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I feel really good about this. You know, I've been shooting ASA for the last couple years and had a couple close calls, but just haven't got it done yet, so I'm glad to finally get one under my belt.
Well, man, you're polishing up that resume. You're a threat anywhere you go. Congratulations. Great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Great win for Kyle Douglas there. Darren Christenbury. This was a different season. Sad to see it come to an end, but yet glad to see it come to an end just because of everything we had to deal with this year.
We've had a lot of hurdles. The abbreviated archery season, it's just been, obvious reasons, it's been a incredible, weird year. So hunting season for me starts a week from tomorrow in Wyoming. It's bittersweet. I'm kind of glad archery season's over, but I'll be looking forward to January and February when it all starts over again.
That's awesome. Folks, we appreciate you joining us this entire season here. Competition Archery Media. Look for us next year, 2021 ASA Shooter Season of the Year.
That's a good feeling to know I can make this bow do whatever I want it to do and it will react.
This thing is just so much more stable, and it just controls an arrow so well.
Coolest part about it is all you need is a Torx wrench and a couple of Allen wrenches, and you can just stand there on the line. You don't have to run in and put it in the press and move those shims. This is a dream to work with right now.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Announcing the new, patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. True Ball Excel. We make archery better.